We have Senator McCain on the line. Is that okay? Let me go to the phones because I know the senator's got a busy schedule. Senator McCain, are you there?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, interesting times, my friend.
Now, you are going to be in town with a couple of town hall meetings so that people can actually get some information for you. Where are they going to be, and what are they going to be able to find out?
Well, they're going to be able to talk to me as well as me talk to them. That's why we're going to talk about health care. We're going to talk about the economy, Afghanistan, possibly Iraq if they want to. And they're going to be one of them's going to be Friday at 2 at the Central Christian Church that's on Lindsay Road, North Lindsay Road in Mesa, and we're also doing one on Saturday at the Skyway Church of the West Valley. So, and they can call our office or go online there, and that information is out there. There's a lot of things going on right now, and town hall meetings are my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and I've actually seen you in action at a few of those, and you handle them very well, especially the critics. I like the way you handle the critics because it's a lot of fun to watch. You know, I know you don't ever shy away from the debate as long as it's civil, so it's kind of fun to watch. Can you tell us, I've heard you outspoken, I've seen you on all of the news channels now, talking about what's happening in Afghanistan and what seems to me to be a lack of action by the president, kind of almost imploring this president to do something already. Is he moving in the direction of getting something done?
Well, I had hoped so, but according to the news reports this morning, he is still having additional meetings, and perhaps that he may announce a decision after the elections in Afghanistan after November 7th, but this is really very, very unfortunate and in a way saddening because we already have 68,000 troops over there. We just lost 14 in one day and then 8 in another day, the highest casualty rate of any month in the war. And the sooner we get the resources over there and the additional troops over there, then to reverse what General McChrystal described months ago as a deteriorating situation. The longer we wait to decide, the greater danger our young Americans are in, and so it's really, really unfortunate. It's not a war game. It's not an academic exercise. It's a war that's going on, and Americans, unfortunately, are being killed and wounded in it, and we could improve it, as you know, in my view, with adopting General McChrystal's strategy.
Now, Senator McCain, is it unique for a president to not take the advice of the commanding general and go to, I mean, I know he's giving the appearance that he's trying to get a well-rounded, well-thought-out plan, but isn't it more likely that you would go to the experts in the field? I mean, it seems to be across the board the generals agree that General McChrystal's plan is the only way to act on this. Why is this president doing this, and is it unique for a president to not act on what his military leaders want done?
Well, as you know, presidents are the commander-in-chief. They have disagreed from time to time with their military commanders. Harry Truman fired General MacArthur in the Korea, and as you know, I opposed Rumsfeld and Casey and the strategy that was losing in Iraq until we had the surge. But the point here is, I think that's so important, is that General Petraeus, General McChrystal, and Admiral Mullen, they designed the successful strategy in Iraq. That's the same strategy adopted to very different situation in Afghanistan that will work. And if the president has a reason to overrule their recommendation, then I think there has to be sort of like the burden of proof on him, because these are successful generals and they are great leaders. You see what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So if the president wants to overrule the military, that is the way our democracy works. But it seems to me that he ought to have a very, very good rationale for doing so. And the vice president, who is the greatest opponent of McChrystal's strategy, is the one who was wrong about Iraq, who wanted to divide Iraq into 3 different countries. He said the first Gulf War Desert Storm was another Vietnam. He's been consistently wrong. And the Secretary of State was wrong, and the National Security Advisor was wrong, and certainly the President of the United States fought against the surge and predicted that it would fail. So it seems to me that to not adopt or at least try the strategy of these successful military leaders, you'd have to have a compelling reason to do so.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's the appearance it gives to me as well, is that it seems like he is trying to find the answers he wants from somebody, not necessarily what the truth is from the generals in the field. Now, on healthcare, let me ask you just very quickly. We're hearing information about a House bill that's coming out that's going to be a lot more. It's going to include the public option. It's going to make demands on employers. It's a lot more of what the president wanted than what we're hearing from the Senate. Now, Senator Reid has said he's getting very close to 60 votes on the plan. Is that true? Do you see that happening very soon, of him getting the 60 he needs?
I think, to be honest with you, Mike, I think that they're probably going to get something.
Okay.
They're look back at the failure of President Clinton in '94, which led to defeat in the following elections. They do have 60 Democrat senators, but I'm telling you, I am incredibly worried, not only about the product but also the process. The president, during the October a year ago, has said on health care reform, we'll have the C-SPAN cameras in, we'll have Republicans there, we'll have open negotiations so the American people can know who's on the side of the pharmaceutical companies and who's on the side of the American people. A handful of people, a few Democrats and administration officials, are negotiating behind closed doors. We Republicans will have to look for the white smoke, because there is no negotiations, there is no inclusion whatsoever, except for perhaps Senator Snowe, who apparently today, I don't know what she will do tomorrow, but apparently today has said that she's against their proposal. But look, this is of huge significance and impact, and a handful of people will probably decide it.
So then, if we get a bill from the Senate that does not include the public option, let's say it comes out of the Senate without a public option, and what passes in the House is going to have the public option. We know that Nancy Pelosi has been very adamant about this being a very liberal bill, very heavy on the employer. Are they going to be able to get a consensus? I mean, once they get the two bills out, how do they get consensus then? Is that realistic?
They get back in that room again. A handful of them, just a handful of people, and they come out with a product. And then they muscle their members, the blue dogs, the so-called moderate Democrats. They bark. They never bite. They always roll over and play dead for the speaker. And they will start offering people things in exchange for their votes. It's a terrible process we're watching. The American people are incredibly cynical about this whole thing, and they've become understandably disillusioned with. There's been no change in Washington, Mike. There has been no change. In case you missed the story recently about the people, the big contributors who have access to the White House bowling alley. I don't know who wants to go bowling in the White House, but that seems to be one of the perks.
Yeah, see, and I laughed when I read that story, because I've never been in the White House. If I was to be invited into the White House, the last thing I'd want to do is bowl in the basement. I'd want to see the White House. But you're right.
You are insulting bowlers all over America right now, Mike.
Well, it's okay. I guess I am. I guess you're right. I don't see the change that's there, and What's very disheartening to me about the whole process we're seeing on this healthcare debate is now we're hearing about, they need the unions on board. So the unions are going to be getting some kind of concessions because they've got the Cadillac plans that might be taxed, except they may be exempt.
They're going to try to exempt the unions from taxation of their Cadillac plans using the spurious rationale that they were negotiated between labor and management. Well, look, this is... I think we're in a very, very dangerous time. The spending, the deficits, the incredible now disparity and contradiction between Wall Street and Central Avenue, I'm telling you, is unbelievable. The outrageous profits and bonuses that are being given to the ones that we bailed out that were responsible for this crisis to start with. Meanwhile, our small business people can't get a line of credit to stay in business. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible and outrageous. And
I think the people are starting to wake up to this. Well, I'm looking forward to the discussion. I know that tomorrow it's going to be at Central Christian in the East Valley there on Lindsay Road, and that's at the doors open at noon, I think, tomorrow.
anybody, I believe it's at noon, yeah, and if they can go online or call our office to get all the details and directions, and I'm really looking forward to it. And look, the state has never been hurting as much as it is today, and my focus obviously is on Afghanistan and Iraq because we have brave young citizens of Arizona who are serving, but it's the economy and jobs and jobs and jobs.
Right, and that's I'm anxious to hear what you have, because I know you're going to get questions about jobs, about the stimulus, about the deficit, and so I'm going to try to go to both. Actually, I'm going to probably see you tomorrow, but definitely on Saturday at the Skyway Church in the West Valley. I appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and you're welcome back anytime.
Well, thanks, Mike, and make sure that I know you're there, and I'll let you even ask a question if you're polite, which you're usually not.
Yeah, I'll try to be as rowdy as I can then.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Senator. That's Senator John McCain. That's about the town halls he's going to be having tomorrow.